Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, uncovering the 8 surprising roadblocks that could be standing in your way of weight loss and how to overcome them.
And tips and tricks to help you save money on food, from phone apps to meal planning. Our financial expert will join us with some useful advice.
Plus, keeping your kids safe near water. The certified ISR swim instructor will explain the 5 layers of protection and show us how swimsuit choice plays a major role just in time for the warmer temperatures. Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to Quad Cities Live. It is May 29th. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Kyle Keel alongside my co-host Morgan Otier.
Hello.
We're talking fresh food, local flavor, and a vibrant new space. There is a lot happening and a lot to celebrate in downtown Rock Island this season.
There is. The QC Farmers Market has officially made its move from the riverfront to the heart of the city, bringing with it a growing list of local vendors and a deeper connection to the community. Joining us this afternoon is Jack Cullen, Executive Director of the Rock Island Downtown Alliance, along with Jim Harris from the QC Farmers Market. Welcome back to both of you.
Yes.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Okay, Jack, we'll start with you. Opening day is this Saturday.
This Saturday, the QC Farmers Market is making its move to the city's new 2nd Avenue Festival Street, 8 a.m. to noon. We're just so excited to unveil this new space to the community. It was built for events like this. So we're just elated for the partnership with the QC Farmers Market.
And we've got the map on the screen right there. So for, if that's helpful to folks trying to picture where this is going to be, this is like a totally revamped space.
Yeah.
It has been at Schwiebert Park for a very long time, correct? I believe I have in here since 2021. So just talk about the move and how this is going to kind of change things for people.
Well, the move hopefully will be smooth.
Yeah.
We liked it
I'm
down
sure
in
it
Schwiebert,
will.
but we think that this is a great move for the city and a great move for our market, because it will open us up to many more people coming down to the city, and open up the city to many more people who would come down to the market. We have about 20 vendors. They're all local vendors, every single one of them, somebody who sells goat milk to somebody who actually raises sheep and creates yarn.
That's awesome.
All local, and all of this that you see in front of you is all local produce.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you brought here today. I love to highlight, some of these folks, especially because people are going to be watching this, and I think it will encourage them more to want to come out on Saturday and support. So you got some beautiful loaves of bread here.
Yes.
Start there.
And they smell good, too.
Yes, they really do.
That's what everybody
The room
says.
smells great.
And the amazing thing is they taste better than
Oh,
they
I
smell.
bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can attest to that.
That's the only bread I eat in my home now, too.
Oh, really?
Partly because it's my son-in-law who makes the bread.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
there you
that's part of it, but it's really delicious, and most of the breads he makes are sourdough breads, so it's very good for people who have digestive problems.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It really helps with digestive problems. In addition to the breads, we have a local vendor who really does a tremendous job with strawberries.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yes.
Local eggs, asparagus, fruit. Well, this is not season for fruit yet.
Right.
All the fruits and vegetables we have are temporal, if you will, for the time that they're available. They're
Right.
seasonal, which is very, very important. It makes it very fresh and very healthy for the for our
Yeah, because I was going to say, if you're at a local farmer's market and you're seeing oranges or even tomatoes right now, I mean that's kind of your tip off. I mean, if it's
Snag 'em
super
now.
important for you to buy locally grown, that's probably not going to be in season for us here yet, unless they're grown indoors in some way.
Well, we do have a grower who does grow indoors in Icon tomatoes. They're local, and they grow it all the time, all year round. But they have hot houses and they have special
Hydroponics and things like
for
that. Yeah,
That's
very
what makes this market unique. The authenticity of the homegrown products that you'll find aligns really well, I think, with the the authentic historical brand of downtown Rock Island, which is why it makes such a good fit.
Yeah, I know, Jack, I'm sorry, you're really excited too about the move because there have been so many updates to the area.
Yeah, I mean, the 2nd Avenue Festival Street is right in the core of the Rebuild Downtown Rock Island project, which broke ground in the spring of 2024, and we are so close to completion of the project. And to be able to activate the new public space with an event like this on a weekly basis to bring people downtown, patronize the market, experience the brand new space, and hopefully patronize other surrounding businesses as well. It's a perfect partnership. You know, there's nearly 30-foot wide sidewalks, plenty of space for the vendors to operate. Customers will be able to experience the market walking through the closed street. We have bollards on each end of the block that makes it easy to shut down the street for an event like this. And then an adjacent green space and public art, decorative landscaping for other activities and amenities for the community to enjoy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sounds great. Sounds like this will be a great new addition to downtown Rock Island. So we're looking at some of the vendor photos from when you were at Schweber Park. So you'll want to get some of those vendors and more at the new space there on 2nd Avenue. So another unique thing about the QC Farmers Market is that you really are trying to get that outreach to people who require food assistance and give them an outlet to get this locally grown, locally made, objects.
Right. The market accepts SNAP, which is what used to be called food stamps. But it's all done electronically, and actually I man the booth every Saturday.
Oh, good.
And what can happen is that people will come up to me, and they'll give me their card. I'll swipe the card, and I'll give them $1 of token, one token for every dollar that they swipe. If they're Illinois residents, and this is the important part, I will give them an additional voucher, which will be free. So this voucher doubles their actual spending power.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Now this voucher is good for fruits and vegetables and fruit and vegetable growing plants.
That's
so it's very
wonderful.
important. And the community has embraced this tremendously.
Yeah.
It not only helps the community, but it helps the vendors.
Yeah.
So it's a big part of our business.
And
No, it really is. That's amazing.
And in addition to being right off the bus line, the terminal is just a block away, half a block really, from the market location. There's ample parking in adjacent lots and on the street, as well as multiple bike racks in the general vicinity. So it's an accessible market, really, for the entire community.
Yeah, truly. And I mean, food insecurity, obviously, a very big issue, not only across our area, but nationwide. It's got to feel good to not only be in a new space that is a little bit potentially more accessible to some of these folks who may be utilizing it. You're really on the front lines and meeting a lot of these people. This makes a really big difference in the lives of their families.
It does. I've really gotten to know many of these people, I've gotten to know many of our clients.
Yes, absolutely.
And they range from people who are elderly to people who are very young, some people who have really specific kinds of diets that they have to find fresh food for their children or for their spouses. It's really quite remarkable, and it's very, very heartwarming for me to be a part of it.
Yeah, I can tell. Absolutely.
All right, so before we let you guys go, we want to talk about, once a month starting in October, the Downtown Alliance is going to be hosting second Saturdays.
Yes, actually starting in June.
Oh, in June.
Saturday, June 14th.
June through October.
Through October,
Through October will be the kickoff to second Saturdays on 2nd.
Yeah.
Easy to remember for everyone, but
it,
in tandem with the market, during the market hours, we'll have additional programming in that green space. We'll have live music every second Saturday, yard games in the green space, and a free family-friendly activity, and even some exercise classes as well, free for the community to enjoy. So we'll be announcing more details soon, but again, just more reasons to get people downtown, experience the market, and our rebuilt downtown.
Yeah.
And I think people, when they think downtown areas in the Quad Cities, they think of parking. So what's the parking situation for people who come down to the market?
As I said, adjacent lots, there's plenty of parking available in those dedicated parking lots, as well as on the street in the surrounding blocks. And for those who are walking or on two wheels, taking a bicycle down, right off the riverfront trail, and plenty of bike racks in the general downtown area too.
Yeah, really a great location. You can find the QC Farmers Market every Saturday morning from 8 to noon at that new location on 2nd Avenue downtown. Jack and Jim, we want to thank you so much for talking with us today. We really appreciate it, and for bringing all this with you.
This is great.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, May is National Water Safety Month. Coming up next, we'll learn about the 5 layers of protection from a certified ISR swim instructor.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Boats are on the water and pools are open for the summer season. This time of year, though, it's important for families to stay vigilant and keep swim safety in mind.
Yeah, drowning remains the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, but with the right steps, it is preventable. Joining us now is Caitlin Gustafson, a certified infant swimming resource instructor, along with Caitlin Carr, the mother of several of Caitlin's young swimmers. Ladies, thank you both for joining us. Yeah, the Caitlins. Yes. We got Caitlin with a C and Caitlin with a K, so similar to our situation with
the Kyles.
Me and Kyle Dickens. So Caitlin with a C. So explain ISR. You've been on the show many times. Obviously, a very important, you do important lessons for these families. So talk about it and how it benefits, these lessons benefit these families.
So my goal with ISR and what sets me apart from typical traditional swimming lessons you get at the local pools is that my entire goal focuses on making the children independent from me at the end. The goal is if I am not there, they can still have the same skills or find themselves a place to rest, either floating or get to an exit point.
Yeah, and it can be very different for families from, I would say, traditional swim lessons that we've had in the area.
Yeah.
I know our ISR has been around for quite some time, but we really haven't had the opportunity in the area, a lot of families, to try this. In fact, I know a lot of families who will travel very far to take ISR lessons because it is very different. So if you could, I know we have a lot of videos of that you provided of some little kiddos. We've got one right behind us, which I will say this every time. This amazes me to watch these young kids being able to do this. But kind of talk about that aspect of it, so as people see these videos popping up, they're not going, oh my goodness, this tiny little baby is just being tossed in the pool. That's literally the point, and they innately learn exactly what to do.
Yes. So the younger children, right there, they learn how to fall in from various angles and find their float. So they have access to air, they can hang out in that float for a little while, make sure that they're breathing. And then we have a little bit bigger, so that's like a swim, float, stay. She has a little tiny swim. Then when she gets tired, she typically stays. Sometimes she flips over. Ooh,
oh my goodness.
Quinn's famous.
Yes, an angel. Oh my gosh, they're just so sweet.
Yes, they are. So Caitlin, I want to bring you into the conversation as well, because tell us a little bit about you and your family, because you've chosen to put your kids into ISR.
Correct. So we have 3 young kids. All 3 of them are under 6 and under. Then we have a 4th on the way now. Surprise.
Congrats.
I also am a PA, so I work in medicine. My husband's a firefighter. And so when we were navigating, we have a lot of respect for water. Water is unforgiving, and we've seen the consequences of that in our work. And so when we were looking for, we're now parents and we have to navigate our own fear of water, we very much were looking for ISR. And we got into it a little bit later with our oldest, simply because it wasn't accessible in the area. So that's how we found Caitlin. We're now like 3 years into our relationship. All 3 of our children have done it. And you know, it's okay to be fearful of water, but how do we give them tools to, you know, what are they going to do when we're not there, when we're not in the water with them? And it has been
Is it amazing to see your kids going through this process?
So my daughter started a little bit older for the program in and of itself, and Caitlin shared with us, this will look different. She's going to be fearful. You've made her
a little more aware,
fearful, respectful of water, and we very much had.
Respectful of water.
And so it took us a little bit longer. We stuck with it. I would do it again and again. We went through, what, 6 weeks of tears maybe? And
with Charlie,
with Charlie.
definitely.
And then now, if you saw Charlie now,
oh my gosh.
I mean, we just went to a birthday party for kids her age, and Charlie is like diving for rings, and we call her a shark.
That's every parent's dream. It truly is. I mean, it's just you just don't know that feeling until you have a kiddo that's playing near water, and it's just, you know, you're constantly on it. Yeah, absolutely. We want to revisit, Caitlin. We had you on recently, the 5 layers of protection, because that's where all of this stuff here is eventually going to come in. So tell us what the 5 layers of protection are.
Oh, my brain.
It's okay. We got them on the screen.
There you go.
Oh, you're the best.
Barriers and alarms. Kids are absolutely crazy and curious and fast, so you want to put as many obstacles between the child and water as possible. Supervision, and that means like true supervision. Somebody without a phone, somebody without a drink in their hand, paying attention to water at all times. Water competency is where I come in. So I'm trying to give those children the skills of what do they do if they end up in the water without me, without mom and dad. etc., etc. Life jackets for any type of open water. You always want an appropriate fitted life jacket for everybody. We're talking kayaks. We are in that area. Boating, all types of things. Honestly, some kids even fall off the dock fishing. That's actually more
That's
common
why I
than
like
you think.
these with the, they're panning up right now, so in just a second you'll see, but there's like a little handle that I'm holding up, and this is a great thing to have, so you can just grab them and pull them out.
I know. I haven't been there yet, but give my kids a year or two.
It's just a matter of time.
Literally. And then the last one is emergency preparedness. So who knows CPR? Stay up to date on that. I think every parent should, honestly, kids. And then a big one is, where are you swimming? Where are you boating? How do we get people there in an emergency? Do you know the address to the campground or something like that?
Yeah.
And one thing we can really do to be vigilant, you might not really think about it, but the type of swimsuit you have for your kid can really make a difference. And so you brought some examples of different types of suits here.
I did. So these are my children's life jackets. Forgive me, they are filthy. They do use them.
Yeah, kids are using them.
Yes. So this is an infant life jacket. It does have, like, it's supposed to be a head support. There is no guarantee in any sort of emergency that this will flip them upright. No guarantee.
Okay.
Like, it's a 50-50 shot. I have had some families who go through ISR, and they are boating families, bring in the life jacket, and I will make sure the skills translate with it. And then over there, Kyle has my bigger son's life jacket, so it doesn't have the head pillow. You want to make sure you have the crotch straps for sure, because, you know, if you're ever thrown off, unfortunately, we need it to stay on.
We have the photo of the swimsuits on here, and you know what, you can really get pretty much any type of swimsuit you want, but you really like to help people focus on color. Because you want to be visible in that water.
All water, yes. It's all about thinking about where you're going to be, what it looks like, the colors of the pool liners and stuff, because most of them are blue, unfortunately. So when you have boys, like this type of blue here, I don't love it.
Yeah, it really blends in.
It blends in a lot, and you're not going to see these tiny little specks of red. Honestly, you're not. Like, the blue's going to fade in. This one, I don't love the shorts, but finally we have a boys rash guard with some bright colors. So I actually wrote to Carter's and asked them to bring this back because they sold out, and I was like, please
and I will
bring it back.
The photo that was just on screen, because it was showing all of the swimsuits actually in water in a pool. Here it is. They put it back up on the screen. Thank you guys. And you can see exactly what Caitlin is talking about right now. There are some that are very visible and some that are not. So,
And literally, there's the same exact swimsuits from the first photo in that one. So how many do you not see there?
Quite a few.
Well, so obviously a very important resource that you provide for Quad City families. So if you are a parent and you're interested in signing up your child for ISR, you can contact Caitlin directly by phone or email. We have that information on your screen. We're also going to put all this on our website, kwqc.com. And if you want to check out more of the videos that we were looking at, you can visit the Quad Cities ISR Facebook page or visit quadcitiesisr.com. Caitlin and Caitlin, we appreciate you both for being here today.
Yeah, you were great. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Coming up on QCL, ways to save money on food with tools you can use to avoid overspending at the grocery store and other places. Our financial moment with Heidi is next. If your grocery bill is eating up more of your budget than you'd like, you are not alone, but there are smart ways to cut food expenses without sacrificing quality or nutrition. It is time now for our financial moment with Heidi. Heidi Hughescamp Collins is our financial contributor. She is back with us today. Heidi, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, so this is actually part of a series that we started, I think, just a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. This will be part 2 in our series in providing really some practical tips in saving money on food. So just quickly, I kind of want to revisit for folks who didn't get to see part 1 together, some of the things that you shared. One of them being using the envelope system, which you explained so well for us last time. Another point on that, using cash rather than relying on your debit card. So that one makes a lot of sense to me, because you know how much cash you have in your wallet, but sometimes you don't exactly know how much you have on the card. Borrowing from other categories. So if you could explain that one again. These are different categories that we have set up for ourselves based on a budget that we have created for ourselves.
Right. So I like to keep a budget separately for food, one for going out and one for groceries.
Okay.
And so you've done a little bit of homework, you've looked at statements, and you've looked at your debit card statements, and you found out about how much you spend on groceries, about how much you spend on going out for food every month. Put that in the respective envelopes, one for groceries, one for going out.
Yeah.
And that you have to spend cash. And when the cash is gone,
you're maybe not going out.
Right, but you can borrow. So if you get to maybe week 3 or beginning of week 4 of the month, and you've got some money left in groceries, but there isn't any money in going out left, you know, you can borrow some from groceries.
Yeah.
But if you borrow, if you're zero for, you know, for two, then you're going to have to borrow from another category, like maybe personal care or entertainment or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the final point comes from, and really learning accountability if you're overspending, and how that ends up happening to you and how to prevent it from happening again. Okay, so part 2 and how to save some money on food. I love this one. This one makes me laugh, actually. Take a different route home from work or school.
Spending money is mostly psychological.
Yes.
And by the same token, saving money is psychological. So if on your way home from work or school, you know, you go past a ton of fast food restaurants or Whitey's or something, you know, and you tend to think, oh, I've worked hard all day, I want a reward.
Right.
It's just easy to buzz in and get something. You know, try to avoid the temptation. Take a different route.
Take a different route.
You know, and likewise in the morning, don't go past, you know, Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. And in that same vein, delete the food apps from your phone. So whatever you may be using to get those deliveries, it's really kind of the same as your first point. It's just get them out of sight, out of mind.
Psychological. Delete them so you're not tempted.
Absolutely. Okay, so meal planning. We talk a lot about meal planning when it comes to if we want to, you know, if we're working on some weight loss or something along those lines. This is also important for financial success.
It is. I mean, you're going to laugh, but Saturday mornings, I've got my coffee and I've got my cookbooks. And I'm making lists.
No, I love it.
And, you know, and making lists of all the ingredients.
Yeah.
If you map out all the ingredients and you have a, you know, a list of what you're going to eat for all, you know, for your dinner meals for the following week.
Sure.
You're going to get to the grocery store, you're going to have a plan, you're going to spend a lot less.
Yeah.
You know, and you can, you know, look on your, you know, make a game. It sounds like a hassle, but kind of make a game of it. You know, I sometimes will like get a whole chicken, you know, and roasted chicken. And then, you know, I can use it for chicken tacos.
Right.
I can use it for, like to do a chicken bowl.
Yeah.
I can do chicken chili.
Yeah.
You know, so make a
plan.
game of different things, you know, that you can use so, you know, everything stretches.
I think it could be fun. And with that, make sure that you're allocating enough of your time to accommodate cooking. So maybe like Heidi, she wakes up on Saturday and she gets this started. Maybe you do your grocery shopping that day and you cook on Sunday, but don't leave it all, you know, until, you know, Sunday at 4 p.m.
No, and here's the other thing. Rule of thumb. If a recipe says it's going to take so long to do, double it.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time to get ingredients together, to get your pots and pans and your utensils, to chop, you know, to measure, you know, all that takes time. It's going to take a lot longer than that recipe says.
Yeah, we're not all professionals, right?
No, and I don't want you to be the person at 8 o'clock and you're not done yet, and you've been in the kitchen for 3 hours, and you just like surrender and you know, you don't like put you know, and go Uber Eats, you know, and get something.
It's not fun anymore. Yeah, so leave yourself time.
Right, and Google, one thing too, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Google, you know, easy recipes with ground beef.
Yes.
Google quick pasta recipes, and then you'll have those at your fingertips.
Yes, absolutely, a great idea, or I use Pinterest for that as well, but some of those can be a little complicated. Finally though, your point, I love this one, and we've all heard it before, never go to the grocery store on an empty stomach.
No.
We go crazy.
Always eat first.
Yes.
I promise you, if you go without eating first, you're gonna, you know, all these things are gonna like hop into your cart that just really look good.
Yes, they absolutely will. I am so guilty of that, and so is my daughter. So if you want to learn more about the variety of services that Heidi offers, she comes in here, she gives us some fantastic tips. She can help you really in any avenue of your financial life. Just visit her website, hhcinvestments.net. And a reminder, if you want to see part 1 or any of our segments together, just visit our website, kwqc.com, and click the tab for Quad Cities Live. Heidi, thank you so much. Another fun one today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Morgan.
Yes, absolutely. Still to come in our second half hour, May is Celiac Awareness Month. A Hy-Vee registered dietitian will join us with information on what that is and how to combat the symptoms with nutrition. And later, the roadblocks to weight loss. We'll learn about the root causes and underlying health conditions that could be contributing to your struggle.
And it's been a relatively nice day across eastern Iowa and western Illinois. Temperatures mid-60s to right around 70 degrees. We are in for a warm up along with some hazy conditions over the next few days. We'll explain why we'll see that haze and whether it will impact air quality coming up in your first alert forecast in the second half of Quad Cities Live.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
Not a bad day for late May standards. We have a little bit of a light breeze. We've got some clouds that have built, and some of those clouds have led to a couple of isolated showers, especially in eastern Iowa and west central Illinois. And we'll continue to track those here through about sunset. Those temperatures have topped out near that 70-degree mark here this afternoon. Tomorrow we'll see more sunshine. Haze will enter the atmosphere from the Canadian wildfires. We'll take a look at that here in just a moment. Then heading into the weekend, we are seeing that warming trend, and the 80s are going to continue into next week as temperatures approach 90 degrees. And yes, those dew points will be on the rise as well. So we'll certainly see that touch of humidity. Right now, First Alert Live Doppler radar shows just a few showers, mainly south of I-74 and the Highway 34 corridor there. But we do have a few more showers that are popping up here in portions of Louisa and Henry County in Iowa. Just to the west of Morning Sun, between Morning Sun and Winfield, we got a light shower that continues just to the southwest of Mount Pleasant. The sky probably darkening a bit as we have a heavy rain shower popping up just outside of Henry County. So yeah, we'll watch a few of those hit or miss over the next few hours. Otherwise, we will be left under the influence of this upper level low, but it is going to make its way to the east. And this has been cut off from the main system. So now that this is kind of stopping us from getting any different weather, we'll kind of get the atmosphere flowing again. And with northwesterly flow, we actually are going to see that smoke in the upper levels of the atmosphere start to move into our area from those Canadian wildfires. And we can actually see this here getting into portions of northern Minnesota and North Dakota. That kind of milky gray shading that you see there, that is the haze from the wildfire smoke. So that could lead to some air quality issues here, probably by this time tomorrow or shortly after that here. So if you're especially sensitive to air pollutants, you may have a few issues outside, so maybe want to limit your time outside. That smoke will become a little more prevalent, that haze in the air, come tomorrow afternoon into the evening. That's going to continue tomorrow night, maybe a little break early Saturday, but by midday we'll see a few more areas of that thicker haze move in that could impact air quality, so we'll be sure to keep you updated. Any isolated showers come to an end this evening, and then we'll start to see that sky clear out tonight, and that will lead to plenty of sunshine heading into the day on Friday, as temperatures will top off in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. Low 80s here on Saturday. In fact, probably upper 70s northeast to mid 80s to the southwest. That's where we're going to have a backdoor cold front move in, but that warm air will retreat back into the area Sunday with highs close to 90 Monday and Tuesday, ahead of our next chance for rain and storms next Wednesday.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Gluten-free eating isn't just a trend, it is a must for those diagnosed with celiac disease. And this May, in honor of Celiac Awareness Month, Hy-Vee is shedding some light on this autoimmune condition that really affects millions of people. Joining us this afternoon is Hy-Vee registered dietitian Caitlin Milligan. Caitlin, welcome back to the show today. Thanks for being here. Okay, so yes, let's dig into this, so to speak. A celiac, a lot of people may not know what it is if it's not something that they deal with or something in their family. It is tied to gluten. So can we start with what is gluten?
Yes, so gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye.
Okay.
So a lot of those products are going to be breads, pastas, English muffins, and in many other items.
Okay, so anytime that we're looking at store shelves and we see anything like, honestly, it's a lot of stuff that we would just tie to having carbs. Like, I know a lot of people talk a lot about like bread, carbs, like, but those are a lot of things will have gluten as well, or like beer and things like that.
Yes, beer would have it.
Okay.
Also like gravies, pasta sauces.
Okay. It's in quite a few things.
Yes.
Okay, so differences now between gluten intolerance versus celiac disease. A lot of people go gluten-free for just a variety of reasons. Like I just mentioned, a lot of people just don't want to be eating the carbs, so they say they're gluten-free. But there is a big difference here between an intolerance and having this disease.
Yes. So an intolerance would be some pesky symptoms, maybe bloating, but you can still go about your day.
Okay.
Someone with celiac disease, just a tiny crumb could take them out for the day.
Really?
Have major digestive issues, rashes, hair loss.
Oh my goodness.
Many things. I mean, even tied to some miscarriages.
So this really has an effect on someone's health in a very big way.
Yes. So that's typically the difference.
Okay.
Between
Yeah.
the two.
Well, I think it's so important then to raise awareness about something like this, because there is kind of that stigma where people are gluten-free, so to speak, and can get a hard time about it, depending on if you're having dinner with a friend or having dinner out at a restaurant. But if you have this disease, holy cow, I mean, it could really throw your life out of whack. So.
Yes.
Unfortunately. Okay, so let's talk about building gluten-free meals for these folks, because it doesn't have to mean that our options are boring or bland or limited in any way. There, as you can see, are a variety of options here. So talk a little bit about that and what you brought here.
Yeah, so luckily at Hy-Vee we have a whole aisle dedicated to gluten-free items.
Wonderful.
You know, there's like egg pasta that's made for tagliatelle, you know, gravy, and some different pasta.
Wonderful, yeah.
And different gluten-free breads. And then the Siete brand is a really great brand that has chips made from cassava. It's grain-free.
Okay.
Everything. You know, there's different seasoning packages, multitude of
I
items.
love that you brought these items, Caitlin, because a lot of people will just think, I absolutely can't eat. I can't eat chips. I can't make a sandwich anymore. I can't eat pasta. You've legitimately brought items that will substitute for all of those things that folks really feel like they've had to give up through celiac. Or if you cook for somebody who's just been diagnosed with celiac and you're like, where do I even start? This is a good place. Obviously, Hy-Vee with its own aisle of gluten-free items is a good place. One thing I really wanted to get to today is your gluten-free one-on-one, because you want to talk about some sneaky sources of gluten, things that you would have no idea that gluten would be in them, and you brought some of them here today.
Yes, so something like soy sauce you wouldn't think would have gluten, but it does. But luckily we have gluten-free soy sauce. And then another thing that people don't always think about is like something like Ziplocs bags or envelopes. They can contain wheat, and someone with celiacs could get an immune attack.
That is just crazy to me, a Ziploc bag and things like that. Well, you brought all kinds of stuff with you here today.
Yes, and these are some other options. Quinoa is great for it as well. You know, you can use for your carbohydrates, fiber, making sure you're getting enough vegetables, some potatoes. You know, you can play around with it a lot. The other tip I would give for someone who's preparing things for someone with celiac is just remember the cross-contamination can be huge. And even when you go to restaurants, cross-contamination can be a big deal. Cutting boards, using the same spoon for different dishes.
Let that person know that you know that may be cooking for you, that you have this disease and what it can cause. Wow. Okay, so nutrition consultations, you guys do these through Hy-Vee. They can be really helpful for somebody that's trying to navigate something like this.
Yes, and we can always do store tours, go over more things on how you can eat the things that you like to eat, but maybe there's some variations now that you've been diagnosed with celiac disease.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we've got the website on your screen right now, so if you don't know where to start, Hy-Vee Dietitian can help. They can be your guide. Just head to hyvee.com/health and go from there. Caitlin, thank you. Super informative today. We really appreciate it. Yes, thank you very much. Still to come on QCL, a closer look at the root causes of weight gain, and you may be surprised. Nelson Chiropractic will join us with a preview of an upcoming weight loss informational session next.
Quad Cities Live continues.
Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You're eating well, you're moving a little bit more, and yet that scale refuses to budge? Well, you're not alone.
You are certainly not. And according to our guest today, the problem might not be your willpower. Losing weight is oftentimes more complicated than diet and exercise. Dr. Tracy Nelson from Nelson Chiropractic is back with us today with some eye-opening information. I just know you're going to love this segment, anybody who's watching. So you're going to kind of help us uncover some of the hidden roadblocks to weight loss. But what we want to start with are the common beliefs, and we kind of already touched on it. Overeating and lack of exercise, and people really just chalk it up to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, losing weight is simple. It's not easy, right? You have to burn more calories than you take in. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Oh no, it's definitely not.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times we don't realize that maybe the reason why we're not losing weight, we're taking these steps, is that there might be something else going on with our health that maybe is a little below the surface.
Yeah, a lot of different lifestyle things affect your body's ability to metabolize and different things like that. So everything from hormones to your sleep schedule.
Okay. Oh yeah, the sleep schedule. Oof.
Yes. Okay. So you are going to be hosting an informational session just coming up next week. I believe it is Monday evening at 6. And we'll talk about that before we let you go today. But you're talking about the 8 root causes of people of either weight gain or just a struggle with weight loss. The first one being an imbalance in our gut health.
Yes.
I think it's something that we hear more and more. I feel like it's very buzzworthy right now. We're hearing a lot more about probiotics and things like that, but there is really something to that.
Yes, especially Candida. Candida is yeast, and it's a fungus that lives in our intestines when we have damage from alcohol, poor diet, like all the bad things we do can affect the lining of our gut. And so when we have an overgrowth of Candida, it causes a toxification in our body, which makes us eat poorly, and it just really gives a lot of toxins that fat cells hold on to.
Interesting. Okay, so can that be resolved at all with probiotics?
Yes, it's healing the gut and taking that step back from just exercise and everything to the cause. What is the cause of why your body is not metabolizing properly?
Okay.
Yeah, and environmental toxins can also have a really big impact on our metabolism.
Yes, all of those, any kind of toxin, your body is not going to be able to metabolize over time.
Okay, that's a big one. Thyroid dysfunction. So this is a big one. If you know anybody that has hypothyroidism and things like that, that can really be huge.
Yes, and you can have a really kind of messed up, essentially, thyroid, and it still, with tests, show normal. And I hear that all the time. They're like, no, the tests say normal. Well, it might not be functioning properly. You might be sometimes high, sometimes low. There's a bad, kind of balance, and it's a master hormone that affects a lot of other hormones, including the hormone that tells your brain that you're full.
So with something like that, not to delve too deep into it, but how would somebody find out if their thyroid is not functioning properly if those really run-of-the-mill tests that you do once a year at the doctor say that it is?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we do. We do functional testing to see, yes, the range might be fine with, what they say is normal, but for you, it's not, you have all the symptoms of low thyroid, for example. And so it's just a matter of going by how your body is functioning and what it's telling us.
Okay.
All right, so we also talk about, the hormones in our body. We have many of them, including a hunger hormone, so that could be off balance, and that could be leading to maybe some weight gain, or you can't lose it.
I mean, and stress affects hormones, which affects what we eat and affects our hormones. And I mean, it's just a big cycle. So we all know, sometimes when we're stressed, we eat way more. Sometimes when we're stressed, we can't eat anything. So it definitely, I think everybody kind of knows how, those levels affect our appetite.
And speaking of stress, I mean, that is one of these on the list of 8. It can affect your sleep, so sleep deprivation can be a big reason. I know when I switched to the morning show and I was in a group with all kinds of other folks in morning shows, they're like, why am I so hungry? And it was like, well, we are getting 3.5, 4 hours of sleep at night, and that can have a huge impact, and it can lead to a lot of weight gain if you're not careful.
Yes, there are studies that show that people that get 4 hours of sleep have a 30% bigger appetite than people that get 8 hours of sleep.
Well, because you're just fuel. You're functioning for 20 hours. Straight in that day.
Yes, and the next one is brain-based food cravings.
Yes, and so hormones and, for example, depression. Some people who are depressed eat a lot. Some people who are depressed don't eat at all. And so we know that it can affect our appetite that way. There can be imbalances that make us hungry or not hungry, and we just can't get that information to tell us we're full.
Okay, and then finally, poor food management. So this really has a lot to do with portion control, and you really have to relearn a lot of this stuff. I mean, when they talk about people in other countries and they compare how we eat, it's just, it's crazy.
And also planning ahead. Planning ahead if we know we're going to be crazy busy or going from one place to another, like bringing something with you so you don't get too hungry at the grocery store, like you were just saying. So all of those things, it's just a matter of thinking ahead and making good choices and not just automatically eating something unhealthy while we're cooking our healthy meal,
Yes.
right? Like not getting too hungry.
I have done that too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all guilty.
We've all been there. Yeah. Well, if you want to schedule a consultation or if you want to sign up for Monday's informational session, that is Monday, June 2nd, call Nelson Chiropractic at the number there, 563-359-9541. Dr. Tracy Nelson, just another great segment.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, lots of good insight. Well, coming up, we are walking down memory lane with our Throwback Thursday segment, so you won't want to miss that next.
It is time now for our Throwback Thursday segment. And here I am, like, I'm always off screen every time I do this segment.
It's hard to know where to stand here.
See you guys later. So, yeah, let's talk about your throwback. Do I know what this is?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it earlier, and we've talked about it really just in general, our Facebook statuses from
they're so
way back
cringy.
They're cringy, so I know, like, you know, a lot of millennials, you can relate. We used to share random things on Facebook, so I couldn't really find anything else last minute today, so I shared this from 2012. I had a dream. I was on a game show and won $100,000. Too bad dreams aren't premonitions.
Oh my gosh.
So I felt that I had to share that with the world.
That's not even bad. Like,
no, there's cringier ones, which is why I shared this one, because it's a little more on the tame side.
It is. I looked at mine from 13 years ago, and Sharon will think this is funny because she's in the studio right now. I wrote something on there like, oh, long day at work, or busy week at work at TV6, but it makes the week go by fast.
Yeah.
And then the only person that commented was Sharon. And she was like, well, at least you'll be switching shifts soon. And I don't know if
so you must have been close to making that switch.
I must have been close to making that shift for mornings, but yeah, it was very, very funny.
Yeah.
And
I thought we were wrapping up. Okay,
maybe we are wrapping up. My throwback is actually because tomorrow is my daughter's last day of school.
Crazy.
So I thought it was a good time to throw it back to her first day of school. She's a first grader. And so we do the little chalkboard thing, and she talks about all the things she likes. And so when we started school, she likes swimming, cleaning, mommy and daddy. Hopefully she always writes that. And when she grows up, she wants to be a singer. And so that's what she had on her little chalkboard in August of last year. I can't get over how much bigger she already looks.
Yes.
Like, we're going to do the pictures tomorrow morning, and I'm probably going to cry.
Yeah, my kids aren't quite in school yet, but yeah, I've seen my friends post them, and it's amazing to see the growth.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine your own child, but you know, someone else's child between, you know, just the 8 months
they
or whatever
grow
in
up
school.
so fast,
It's
so quickly, and they change their likes, their dislikes all the time. So yeah, tomorrow look for those photos because I'll be posting her last day of first grade photos. Yes. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for Throwback Thursday and for watching QCL.
Yes, your News at 4 with Sharon is up next, and we will see you right back here tomorrow at 3.